Young man, please save my wife. In the middle of the night, I saw a yellow weasel, bigger than 3 grown men, kneeling right by my bed. I'm Luke Schwan. I used to be a chief surgeon, but right now, I was so terrified I wanted to hide under the covers and cry for my mom. I stared into its round, glowing eyes, my voice trembling. Boss, I'm a surgeon who wields a scalpel. I don't deliver babies. You've got the wrong guy. This yellow weasel, his name is Huang Da. He was so anxious he kept kowtowing. The villagers all say you're incredibly skilled. Please, save my wife and children. I'll work like a horse for you. Seeing him on the verge of tears, the trauma in my heart flared up again. Half a month ago, that 25-year-old young man, when he died on my operating table, his family begged me just like this. Ever since then, the moment I see a scalpel, my hands shake like I have Parkinson's. I turned my face away. I looked out the window and said, I'm not a doctor anymore. Just go. I kicked Huang Da out and slammed the door shut, but there was no sound outside. I sat on the edge of the bed, my mind filled with images of the deceased patient and the curses of his family. The feeling of a sleepless night was truly unbearable. If no one steps in, that mother and her babies are really going to die. The moment this thought crossed my mind, I couldn't help myself. I opened the door again. Huang Da hadn't left. He was slumped on the ground. Seeing me come out, his round eyes lit up like 2 little light bulbs. Hurry up, bring your wife into my yard. My little cabin in the woods is a typical northern folk house. The room had a faint smell of disinfectant mixed with old wood. I quickly spread a clean, sterile drape over the table, turning it into a makeshift clinic. Just as Huang Da rushed in, carrying his wife, the female weasel's belly was swollen huge. She didn't even have the strength to cry out anymore, trembling all over from the pain. Outside, the tree shadows swaying against the paper windows made me feel uneasy. I was completely panicked, but my professional instinct forced me to stay calm. I pulled out the surgical kit I had tucked away. I sterilized the fur on her belly. I called my old roommate, who worked in the obstetrics department. He groggily picked up the phone on the other end. I quickly explained the situation. With his remote guidance, I finally felt a bit of confidence. Listen closely. I have to operate on your wife. Life and death are up to fate. It's in heaven's hands now. I took a deep breath and picked up the scalpel. Under the dim light, my hands uselessly started shaking again. In that moment, I felt like I was back on that operating table. I made an incision on the skin. Strangely, wisps of black smoke seeped out from the cut. It was bone-chillingly cold. I didn't have the mind to care about that, just staring intently at the bleeding point. Forcing myself to steady the blade, I operated swiftly and cleanly. Just a few minutes later, several tiny, soaking wet creatures dropped into the basin. Huang Da's wife finally let out a heavy breath and gave a weak cry. 3 warm little lives welcomed the first rays of morning sunlight as they came into the world. Mother and babies were safe. Huang Da was so happy he burst into tears. He hurriedly licked his wife and kids clean. I took off my blood-stained gloves, looking at my hands that had finally stopped shaking. The heavy burden that had weighed on my heart for the past half-month finally lightened a bit. I walked out to the balcony and saw dawn was breaking. I immediately called my old classmate to report that mother and babies were safe. I think I can hold the scalpel again. Are you really planning to stay in that middle of nowhere for the rest of your life? I looked at the residual blood under my fingernails. I stayed silent. Hey, Lu Xuan, in our profession as doctors, saving lives is our duty. But sometimes, this thing called fate really isn't something we can stop. After that incident, I've always been worried. In this line of work, we witness life and death every day. You can't just expect life without death. Everyone has their own destiny. I know. So, are you planning to come back? I looked at the lingering morning light on the horizon and instinctively fell silent. Sigh, I was just asking casually. To be honest, I want to quit this damn job too. I'm busy as a dog every single day. I don't know what kind of bad luck I hit today. There are so many pregnant women, I can't even schedule them all. Hanging up the phone, I looked at the sun that had already risen high and went back inside. Huang Da and his family were still resting in the makeshift nest I built. I gathered some dry grass from the corner of the yard, sprinkled some disinfectant powder, and let their family of 5 stay there temporarily. 2 days later, just as the sun came up, my grandma was already shouting outside the door. She pointed at a pheasant. It was dead, its neck snapped, lying by the door. She asked me curiously, "Xuan, come out and look at this. Where did this pheasant come from?" I glanced along the base of the courtyard wall. And sure enough, I saw a little head poking out from behind the millstone. Huangda was looking at me expectantly with his round eyes. His tail was even wagging instinctively. Probably someone giving a gift and got the wrong house. Grandma looked at me and smiled. Giving a gift and just leaving it right at the gate. If no one claims it, we'll cook it up. This bird is really plump. Every day when I opened the door, there would always be a pheasant at the gate, sometimes even a fat field mouse. After eating pheasant for 3 days straight, now even my burps smelled like chicken feathers. I couldn't take it anymore. I deliberately stopped Huang Da and told him not to gift any more chickens. I'm sick of eating them. Huang Da tilted his head in thought, looking like he understood. The next day, the raw meat smell at the door was gone, replaced by a pile of wild fruits. Bright red and still covered in morning dew, laid out neatly. Xuan, is that the great immortal Huang? I saw him a few days ago. These things, they're definitely paying us rent, probably. I gotta say, these little critters are really spiritual. How could they not be? Not only do they know how to pay rent, they even know how to speak human. In the following days, Huang Da was very spiritual. He left early and came back late every day, and the gifts became diverse and abundant. From wild fruits and mushrooms to all sorts of unnamed medicinal herbs. Under my care, Huang Da's wife's wound healed very quickly. Before long, she could lead her babies crawling all over the place. Finally, one afternoon, Huang Da brought his whole family to say goodbye to me, saying they had to return to the forest behind the mountain. Sending off these special patients, my life finally returned to peace. However, the peaceful days didn't last long. On a night with the dim moon and sparse stars, the familiar knocking sound echoed again. I thought Huang Da had come back to give more gifts. I reluctantly went to open the door. I told you I'm not collecting rent. Before I could finish, I froze. Outside the door wasn't Huang Da, but a wall of fiery red fur. It was a massive creature, over 2 meters tall. Its entire coat gleamed a deep red under the moonlight. A pair of emerald green eyes glowed like 2 little nightlights. I shuddered in terror. Its giant shadow completely engulfed my body. The heavy, oppressive presence almost made me collapse on the spot. I didn't dare move a muscle. My mind was screaming, "Save me! This monster could swallow 3 people whole in 1 bite." But the giant beast spoke first. "Are you the miracle doctor who saved the Huang family?" I trembled, not daring to answer. "It's speaking human." The monster lowered its head. My gaze followed its eyes downward. I saw that under its massive paw, it was pinning down a tiny, shivering creature. Looking closely, it was Huang Da, who had just left a few days ago. I regained a bit of composure. "What do you want with me?" The monster didn't answer. Instead, it opened its blood-red maw, revealing 2 rows of terrifying fangs. My heart nearly stopped from fear. I'm done for. It's going to eat me. Before I could even scream, my feet suddenly felt light. My whole body was lifted off the ground. It tossed me onto its back like tossing a little chick, and casually grabbed Huang Da too. I was still dazed, buried in the red fur on its back. Hold on tight. Right after that, the red-furred monster dashed off like the wind, carrying me deep into the forest behind the mountain. The biting cold wind whipped painfully against my face. My limbs went numb. I could only cling tightly to its red fur. Lying on its back, I shakily asked Huang Da beside me what was going on. Huang Da was terrified too. He answered in a trembling voice. "Chi-Chu suddenly barged into my house and forced me to lead the way to find you. Said it was an emergency, Q. This red-furred fox is named Chi-Chu." As we ran, we passed an abandoned mountain shrine. It hadn't seen visitors in ages. Its walls half collapsed. Under the silvery moonlight, I saw a headless deity statue on the altar. The clay head had fallen to the ground at some point, now lying tilted to one side, its hollow eyes staring blankly in the direction we were heading. That sight sent chills down my spine. I clung to Chi-Chu's broad back, my whole body jolting with its running rhythm. Amidst the red fur, the cold wind seeped into my collar. I felt like my bones were about to fall apart from this terrifying speed. I don't know how long we ran. Chi-Chu finally slowed down. The surrounding air lacked the stench of rotting leaves and dead branches. Instead, there was a refreshing, crisp scent, like expensive agar wood mixed with the smell of mountain weeds. In the darkness, emerald green eyes lit up like will-o'-the-wisps, accompanied by whispering voices. "Why did Chi-Chu bring a 2-legged creature back here? This human looks so pale and tender. Must be delicious. Is Q crazy? He dares bring a human into the sacred grounds?" My heart skipped a beat. Did he just bring me straight into a fox demon's lair? I'm doomed, Lu Xuan. This time you're not here to save a life. You're here as a food delivery. Chi-Chu ignored the chatter and dragged me further ahead, until we stopped in front of a massive cave. He lowered his body so I could climb down, and spoke into the cave with a deep voice. I found someone who can save Big Brother from deep within the cave. Several foxes of different coat colors slowly walked out. The one leading the pack was even larger than Chi-Chu, exuding an inviolable, majestic aura. What made my eyes nearly pop out of my head was, behind her, there were three long, bushy tails, swaying gently in the air. The pressure was so intense my calves were trembling. This was Chi-Chu's mother, and the leader of this pack, Ching Yi. Surrounded by a pack of giant foxes, my long-gone megalophobia suddenly flared up again. Those emerald green eyes. Ching Yi stared at me unblinking, silent as an ancient statue. The cold sweat on my back dried, and then got wet again. The surrounding foxes suddenly started murmuring, arguing fiercely. Big Brother is so badly injured. How could a human possibly heal him? Why don't we just eat him while he's fresh? Let's eat him. That was a reddish-brown fox with a ferocious face. Chi-Chu called him Second Brother. What if he can heal him? Didn't that kid from the Huang family say this human has real skills? This was another gray fox. Looking much calmer, the two factions of foxes argued until they were red in the face. No one cared about my life or death. The person involved. What the hell do you know? You're the one who knows nothing. You're the ignorant one. No, you don't know, I was screaming internally. Bosses, can you just give me a straight answer? Are you gonna braise me or make me into soup? Stop arguing over my end-of-life care, damn it. Just as my brain was about to short-circuit, Ching Yi, who had been silent the whole time, finally spoke. Her voice was deep and elegant, yet carried the intimidating authority of an alpha. Human. Look up. I reflexively raised my chin, meeting those emerald eyes as deep as the ocean. That kid Huangda said, "You cut open his wife's belly and saved a whole litter of pups. Is that true?" I nodded frantically. My throat was too dry to speak. Ching Yi asked slowly, "Using the methods of you humans, right?" I kept nodding, like a sewing machine. Ching Yi fell into a long silence. Her massive fox head lowered slightly, seeming to weigh the pros and cons. The air felt stagnant, so heavy it was hard to breathe. Second Brother saw Ching Yi hesitating and let out an impatient growl from his throat. His drool was about to drip onto my shoes. "Buddy, could you mind your manners a bit? You're a fox immortal after all. Show some class, old 9. Bring him inside." Ching Yi finally gave the order. Chi-Chu breathed a sigh of relief. Second Brother wasn't having it. "Mother, do you really trust this human? What if he pulls some trick during the surgery?" Ching Yi shot him a cold glare. "Second Brother, if your brain was even half as active as your mouth, you wouldn't still be unable to take human form." Second Brother shut up instantly. Feeling wronged, he curled up in a corner and played with his tail. I followed Chi-Chu into the cave. Huang Da scrambled along behind us, whispering softly, "Miracle Doctor, don't be afraid. Lady Ching Yi and her children are very reasonable. Their reason probably means, if I cure him, I'm a miracle doctor. If I don't, I'm an appetizer." Stepping into the cave, the sight amazed me. It wasn't dark inside at all. The stone walls were covered in glowing moss, illuminating the cave as bright as day. A strange scent permeated the air, the musky smell of wild beasts mixed with incredibly expensive agarwood. The deeper we went, the metallic stench of blood and the smell of rot became heavier. In the widest stone chamber, I met their big brother, Bai Chen. He was an astonishingly large white fox, lying weakly on a stone slab. His fur, originally as white as silk, was now stained with patches of dark red blood. The most horrifying part was one of his front legs. It was bent at a grotesque angle, twisted unnaturally against the joint. The wound was deep and gaping, and even stranger, wisps of black smoke were seeping out of the wound. "This is dark, malevolent energy." I only took one look, and my professional instinct overpowered my fear. My eyebrows furrowed tighter. Big Brother Chi-Chu rushed over, gently nudging Bai Chen's nose. Bai Chen forced his golden eyes open, letting out a weak breath. He couldn't even make a sound. I stepped forward and crouched down to examine the wound. Second Brother jumped out again, blocking my way. "What are you trying to do? Move." I didn't bother paying attention to him, looking straight at Chi-Chu. "I need to observe the wound up close. Otherwise, I can't determine if he can be saved." Chi-Chu growled at Second Brother. Second Brother reluctantly stepped aside. His gaze was like looking at a quack doctor who could commit murder at any moment. I put on the last pair of sterile gloves from my medical kit and gently brushed aside the matted fur around Bai Chen's wound. Right then, a chilling, gloomy aura shot straight from my fingertips to my brain. It was so cold, I shivered. In the center of the deep wound, there was a scale, pitch black, the size of a palm, embedded deep. Its edges were sharp as a knife. The surrounding muscle tissue was completely necrotic and blackened, spreading outward along with the black smoke. What exactly injured him? My voice trembled slightly. Not out of fear, but out of shock at this bizarre wound. Chi-Chu's eyes went bloodshot. It was Hei-Yan, that vicious eagle. He used this demonic scale to ambush my brother. I understood now. This wasn't a normal laceration. This was a complex wound caused by the dark energy on the scale causing an infection, preventing the wound from healing naturally, and acting like a corrosive acid, constantly draining his life force. The situation was worse than I thought. I took a deep breath. To be honest, the toxin and dark energy have already spread. If we wait another half hour, this leg can't be saved, and his life will be in grave danger. The atmosphere in the cave instantly dropped to freezing. Dozens of pairs of fox eyes stared at me simultaneously. Qingyi had silently appeared behind me at some point. Her massive shadow enveloped me. How confident are you? My mind was racing. Clean the wound, excise the necrotic tissue, remove the dark energy. According to modern medical logic, as long as the source of infection is removed and combined with spiritual purification, there's a chance. But the problem was, I was dealing with an abnormal patient. Moreover, my damn hand tremors were acting up again. I clenched my fists, trying to make my voice sound steadier. I have to operate, extract the scale, and scrape away all the dead flesh. The risk is extremely high. I don't have anesthetics suitable for this size. He'll have to endure it. Furthermore, I need absolutely clean hot water, hemostatic herbs, and the sharpest blade. Whatever you need, I can provide. But if you fail, Qingyi stared at me, her gaze feeling like it could pierce through my soul. She didn't finish the sentence, but I knew the foxes outside were already lining up, getting ready for lunch. I smiled bitterly. If I failed, I don't plan on leaving this cave alive anyway. I looked at Bai Chen on the stone slab. He was looking at me too. In those golden eyes, there wasn't a hint of fear toward death. That look, the 25-year-old young man who died on my operating table looked at me exactly like that at the very end. It was an entrustment full of hope, but I lost his life. Stop shaking, Luo Chuan. I gritted my teeth and told myself, you're here to save a life, not to wait for death. I looked up with an unprecedentedly cold gaze. Get the things ready. We operate immediately. The efficiency of the fox pack was astonishing. Chi-Chu quickly led some foxes to set up a giant stone pot, filled with crystal clear spring water, boiling vigorously. A few nimble little foxes brought over a pile of sharpened stone shards in their mouths. Extremely sharp. Those stone shards were made of a very special material. Their sharp edges gleamed with a cold light, no less sharp than my scalpel. I threw all the stone shards and forceps into the boiling water, boiling them thoroughly. As a doctor, I looked at Chi-Chu. You lead them and hold him down tight. Absolutely. Under no circumstances, let him move. Otherwise, one slip of this blade, and he's truly beyond saving. Chi-Kiao nodded firmly, pressing his entire body weight onto Bai Chen's hips. Several other large foxes also pinned down his limbs. It's going to hurt a lot. Try to endure it. Bai Chen gently closed his eyes, as if in response. When I picked up the piping hot stone shard, the moment I felt the flesh, my hands uselessly started shaking again. The phantom voices crashed over me like a tidal wave. You quack, give me back my son's life. You don't deserve to wear that white coat. My vision started to blur. The white fox's blood seemed to morph into the unstoppable red pool on the operating table that day. Miracle doctor, Huang Da's anxious voice rang in my ears. He had found it from who knows where. A stalk of grass, emitting a faint blue light, and shoved it right under my nose. A bone-chillingly cool scent shot straight into my lungs, like a bucket of ice water poured over my head, instantly dispelling the chaotic, nightmarish voices. I snapped back to reality, once again facing Bai Chen's quietly waiting golden eyes. He didn't say anything, but he was waiting for me. Grandma used to say, people like me were born for this profession. As long as the mind is steady, the hands will be steady. Why didn't I believe in myself? I closed my eyes, suppressing all the fear and guilt deep into my heart. When I opened my eyes, the world had become clear. My hands were finally steady. I made the cut. The motion was decisive and clean. Opening it up, the necrotic tissue had already fibrosed. Bai Chen let out a low, guttural roar, full of restraint. His entire body convulsed violently. Chichu and the others held him down for dear life, their claws gouging deep marks into the ground. Dark purple blood mixed with black smoke spewed out. I didn't hesitate at all, with unprecedented, intense focus. I was drenched in sweat dripping down my nose. Huang